Today is the 31st of December of the year 2023. It is 12:01 in the afternoon. And this will be the last video I post on this channel this year and also for a great while yet. I just had to inform you all about this. I figured I may as well do it, just so you don't happen to worry as to my state of being and why it was I have been absent for quite a long time, or will be, rather. But I'm not sure if you folks know this or not, but I am not in the place I would like to be at the moment. I'm in a better place than I was, shall we say, in very, very late 2021 and early 22. But at this stage, I'm not happy. But at the same time, there's not really much I can do about it. I suppose, in the immediate sense, but I guess you could say I'm content. I'm not exactly satisfied with everything that's here. To be honest with you, I didn't think I would still be in this bloody garage today. I thought I'd be someplace else. And, that's just how things happen to be. And also I noticed that of late, I've been very unproductive in such, creatively, as well as just personally and all of that. For instance, this year, I had to abandon a novel that I was working on because it was taking too long to write. I don't know about you, but me, personally, I am of the belief that novels are things that ought to be written quickly so that your subject does not get away from you. Isaac Asimov, the writer of the Foundation series, which I know, Josephine, you've been wanting to have me read it for many years now. I will when I have the time, and believe you me, I will carve out space to read a whole bunch more books. But nevertheless, his philosophy, well, not philosophy, but just a work ethic, was to pump out a book a month. And that is where I'd like to be, creatively. And the way that I've been going about it was I've been doing a lot of pre-writing, which is basically, I'm not sure if I can really demonstrate it, but I take, exercise books like this, and I would just sort of, sketch out scenes and such and all that. I'm not sure how much this is showing, hopefully not too much, so you don't see what's in the store. But I basically, write out little variations of scenes for a book before I actually went down and wrote it in a separate notebook, just so I could get it just right. And this seemed effective, but last month was National Novel Writing Month. And I guess the goal of that is for you to get 50,000 words of a novel written by the end of November. 50,000 words is a lot, but really it isn't, because it's about, 120 pages or so. But nevertheless, it's a substantial amount of work. Let me tell you, in this book I'm working on, El Engaño, at the end of that month, I got to 4,078 words. Yes, that few words. And I said to myself, I can't keep going on like this, because I don't believe very much in revision. I believe in, basically, if you set it down you have to be sure that it's the right set of words that you're basically consigning to eternity. And once it's set there, it's as though it were in stone. And there's really nothing you can do to change it. With this method, that basically ensured that it was so, but at the same time, it takes far more time to actually progress into a work than you would like. And I envy the great writers of the past whom I look up to and by whom I was influenced, in how they seem to really pump out books like clockwork almost, in a matter of at least a couple of weeks even. I know some have taken a few months, maybe even a few years, but nevertheless, most of these are published in periodicals, and so they're obligated to keep to a strict deadline. But that all aside, I wish that I could get to that same level of productivity and speed, and at the same time make it to where I can render as clean sentences as possible and turn out a book a month, because it's my goal. This is rather a lofty one, but it is my goal to write and publish 100 novels, if that, in my lifetime. And I'm not sure how many short stories, though I have been struggling through one lately. But that's my ambition. And the way I'm going right now, I'm clearly not going to get there. And so I really need to set my nose to the grindstone this new year of 2024, which means that I'm going to have to cut off a lot in terms of distractions, including this channel, which means that I probably won't be doing much on here at all next year. Not just for that reason, there are other reasons too. I have a library of, oh goodness, I don't know how many books I have here. This whole wall, I've not counted, but there's at least 500 books on, with 5 shelves. And then obviously there's another wall just opposite me that has 500-600 more books, maybe more, I've not counted. I've read about maybe a good fourth of what I have in my library. I suppose you could call myself well-read, but a lot of the essential works that have been written have not met my eyes. I read very particular works, very obscure works even, and I should like, in this next year, to make it so that I will be reading at least one book a day. I've made that vow many years ago in 2020. I failed miserably, though I did read quite a lot that year. I did not necessarily read as much as I would have liked. So I'm going to do that and basically replace the time I devote to this channel, and others too, because I find that really nowadays I'm watching far too much YouTube than I should. It's been kind of a problem, because really I haven't been having that much energy lately. We're all tired at this house, man. It's been rough these past few months with everything that's just been going on, Uncle and everything. And I've not had the chance to work that much. When I do, it's for particularly long stretches. And during that time, I could just bang out things like no one's business. But as soon as those jobs are done, it's usually weeks, if not months, before I see another one. So I have to learn to adapt to my environs here, which is pretty much the reason we constructed this place, is basically to make it so that I can have my own space to work quietly and efficiently on my various writings, away from the house and away from distractions. And I have used this quite a lot this year, but not to the extent that I would have liked. But I'm going to, this year, try my best. Because here's the thing. In between jobs, I am miserable. I don't necessarily do much of anything. I'm not motivated to do anything. I'm lucky if I even get to read anything. For instance, I just picked up this book, The House on the Borderland by William Hope Hodgson. Supposedly an inspirational book in the field of weird horror. I'm reading this, and it's all right so far. I'm only a chapter in there, but I'll get more into it. And then I would just go months without reading anything else, because unless you actually just indiscriminately take a volume off the shelf, and this one here is The Book of Merlin by T.H. White, and just open it, or if you know that you're going to read something and you've been wanting to for years, or if you just recently bought a book, for instance, like The House on the Borderland, you will not read. You will basically just sit in this chair or lie in your bed and just ruminate. And this rumination is basically, the contents of them is things I would rather be doing and really should be doing, which I'm not. So I need to make those manifest in a way. And so I'm going to write every day. Jack London, his works are up there. You can't really see them, but they're up there. He made it a point to write 1,000 words a day. And even, I believe his name is Chris Gore, I guess, critic and pundit for movies, said that 1,000 words a day, if you continue to keep that momentum up for 2 months, you will have enough material for one book. A New Zealand writer by the name of Richard Webster was inspired by London to, keep to the 1,000 words a day regime. He misremembered it and wrote 2,000 words a day. And I'm one of those people who, if I really want something done, I throw the whole of myself into it until it's finished, and I do nothing else. And really, I've been sort of uncharacteristic in this fashion because, as I said, all sorts of stuff has been going on, and the fact that things are not moving the way that I would like at the moment, not necessarily as quickly as they would like, sort of contributes to that. But I must adapt somehow or other in this situation. Another thing, I may not look it from the camera, but I am just slightly overweight, and I should like to drop a few pounds. Actually, my goal is 160. Back when I was 8 years of age and on a very strict diet, I was very thin. And basically, after I had gotten through that diet and was told I could eat whatever I want, I just ballooned, and I was my heaviest at 11 years of age. You obviously know the stories of the Fat Lord days I was at school. And honestly, I've tried most everything. I've tried dieting. I've tried exercise. I walk 3 miles every day when I can. Sometimes 6 miles because I do it twice a day. And usually it works for a little bit, but every once in a while, I would stay thin for however long, and then I would basically bulk up again. And I really don't like that very much. And so I'm going to make it a point to be more active and such. And apparently, drinking a gallon of water a day contributes to weight loss in some fashion or other. It's not as quick as I'd like it to be, but nevertheless, it is happening. But so I'm working both on myself and for myself this next year, which is basically tomorrow. And it's going to take a lot of effort from me that really any of this will be accomplished. And obviously the big one that I will be doing this year, ride or die, I will finally gather up the impetus and also the resources and all of that to flee this place and head to where I belong in Aotearoa, New Zealand. I can't necessarily talk too much about it because it'll just bore you all. But fact is, I thought I would be there in 2019. It's 2023, for Pete's sake, and I've had enough of this place, to be honest with you. And everyone knows it. Mother knows it. I know it. My employers know it. And it's happening this year. Well, not this year, but this coming year. But, and probably the next video that you'll see from me will not be in this little space that I have here that I'm very thankful for. I'm very thankful that it was built at all. And I just dropped my hairbrush because because there were numerous setbacks involving the city and also just really Uncle himself and all of that, and to where this couldn't be built. And it finally did get built, and I've been living here for about a year, and it's wonderful. At least it was, and now I'm going to try to make it more wonderful. So, I'm going to be doing a lot, and that means I will have to step down from this channel for a great while until I'm at the place I want to be, literally, geographically, figuratively, monetarily, and I'm not sure how you'd say this, but print-wise, because I've also been working indefatigably in trying to get my first novel self-published on Amazon. I have no idea how the whole business works. It's really just a simple thing that a computer nerd can get done in like maybe a few minutes. Me, I'm not sure if you know this or not. I was born in this century, but my soul is of 2 or 3 centuries past. And I can't I could just about operate this camera. So it will require a lot of effort. And this book, I went over it again for the final time. The manuscript's up there someplace. And it's okay. Writing in it isn't the best, but it's all right. And I'm not going to do a whole lot of promotion for this book, mainly because it's not my proudest effort. I wrote it when I was 17, completed it when I was 18. Took me a whole year to suffer through that thing, but of course I was writing it during my senior year and also the summer after that. So basically, I had, obligations then. Now I have no excuse to get to write and just put this thing out there. And the main reason why it'll most likely be out now is to basically, I know my friend Joseph Logsdon is very much against this, but I will not rest until my name has one of them gracing it. And if I were to publish that work at all, it would just be to basically plump myself as a writer and, give me credentials. And I'll probably unpublish it after that once I actually have a real novel out there in the world. But there's a lot of stuff going on that will be going on this next year. And I just have to take things into my own hands. And I just need to really just get my arse in the chair every day. And hopefully when these cats wake me up at midnight, that's another thing. I sleep very badly now because I tune in at 6, sometimes 7 in the morning. These cats right here, there's Riley right there. I'm not sure if you can see him, and there's Layla over there. They cry around, I don't know, 1:45 in the morning just to be fed. I used to set an alarm for many years to get up for school and also just to work itself. But now these cats are my alarms. So I sleep very badly, and I usually end up falling back to sleep once I feed these people. But now I'm going to utilize that time just to write and do all I need to get where I am right now. So, with all that in mind, you won't be seeing very much of me this next year. If you wish to contact me, those of you who have my email address, by all means, use it. I'm usually pretty quick with replies, unless, of course, I'm engaged with something else or other. And I guess I'll just continue doing what I'm doing until I'm at the place to where I don't need to do it any longer, or at least with as much vigor as I need to at this time. I hope you all understand this and will come to anticipate my eventual return, whenever that may be. It could be as early as April. It could be as late as June. I don't know. But I thank you very much for watching. I thank you very much for sticking with me for these, 5 years I've been doing this. I wish you all a very Merry Christmas, a prosperous New Year, and good luck with all of your endeavors in life. And God bless all of you. Cheers. And we'll see you here at some point or other.